And we're live. Welcome to a double eviction recap of Big Brother Candidate 6. Ben, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm
Big
doing
double eviction.
awesome. I know, this is crazy.
Yeah, lost two of the biggest character personalities in the house.
Some might say two of the best players. Am I right?
I mean, if you can find me somebody saying that, then I
Ben's
guess
like, actually, nobody would say that. What are you talking about?
I'd say probably the two worst players, but probably two of the worst players in Big Brother history. But
Oh my
details.
God! Shots. In history?
They're both probably bottom 20.
All right, that's fair enough. Jesus. So do you think his run? I guess let's not get too into it, but I definitely have some questions as we go on. Ben, let's start. We have a lot to cover, so let's start after Erica wins HOH.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're burying the lead here, though. We have some news from the feeds. No spoilers, but Ryan's talking about in the feeds how the name Brian is actually comes from the term the son of Ryan. So now it makes sense why you picked him for your winner pick. So.
Yes, so he is my daddy. He's just daddy, as far as I'm concerned now.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. You texted me this morning, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to call him daddy on the podcast now. That's just a given. Yeah. So henceforth, if I refer to daddy, I'm referring to Ryan.
I mean, it should be, self-explanatory, really.
Really.
But yeah, so we have was it true or false, or was it A or B? I think it was A or B, right?
Right.
Competition where Erica wins her third competition.
She is crushing it. That's 2 vetoes and now 1 HOH.
Yep. And she's doing pretty well. She probably shouldn't have won that HOH competition. What do you think?
I don't know. What, was there a controversy? Oh my God, did I miss this?
No, I think.
Am I half paying attention to everything in my life?
No, there wasn't a big controversy. I think she handled her HOH week very well. You think
she shouldn't have won because it's just a bad move?
Yeah, it's just putting more of a target on her back.
I thought in a second I was like, Helen was pushed. What's going on?
Oh no. I think that she should have thrown the competition. Is what I'm saying.
Right. As we talked about, I just went through recording a podcast that didn't record, so I'm rattled, as Cody, or as Polly California would say.
Yeah.
So I'm off kilter. Please excuse me in that sense.
You're rattled, or like how people have wanted to rattle each other in this house as well.
Oh,
everyone wants to. That can be taken multiple ways.
It can be taken multiple ways. Well, now that Jesse's out, I guess there's less people who are trying to rattle each other.
Yeah, I mean, Will is doing a lot of rattling now.
Oh boy.
Well, we'll get to that. Let's start at the beginning of this past week. We have Erica winning the HOH competition, and her initial target is Maddie.
Yeah, how concerned were you about this?
I was pretty concerned. Yeah, I'm always concerned. Maddie is not doing well at all, really. She's kind of just floating, kind of scraping by the skin of her teeth at this point.
Yeah, both of our winner picks are not doing too hot.
Yeah, they're very much each kind of the second, third, fourth string target every single week. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, not doing great.
And eventually that luck will run out. Because there's going to be people who aren't in front of them to be kicked out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, or there are cases where those kind of players just run it down to third, fourth, fifth place. Mm-hmm. And if one of them can put on some kind of comp one at the end, then you never know.
Yeah. Do they need to align at this point?
No, I don't think so. I think the thing is maybe they should, but It's probably like in each of their best interests to throw the other one under the bus.
Hmm. Just make it just a little bit further.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we get the initial target of Maddie on the block with Marin, and as we talked about at the end of last week's podcast, that I wasn't like super like scared because it seemed like if the noms had stayed the same, Marin would have gone.
Hmm.
Um, because that's what Johnny wanted, and Johnny generally gets his way.
Right. Yeah, especially we saw on this last episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Johnny got his way.
big time.
But yeah.
So that at least needs to make you feel a little bit better, right? That Johnny has Maddie's back so much.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If there's anybody in the house that you want to have your back at this point, it's Johnny. Johnny has so much sway.
He has her best interest at heart. I'm not even sure Ryan has his best interest at heart, judging by his HOH win. So at least your winner pick has that.
I guess. But yeah, so you want to talk about the Monday episode a little bit? We get through Erica talking to pretty much everybody, and we have the start of a potential backdoor plan cooking up.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So we have people like Paris come up to Maddie and come up to Erica and have a real good conversation with her, where they basically throw Veronica under the bus and use her poor decision to lie about her hinky vote consistently as ammo.
Yeah, so I actually wanted to ask you about this. What are your feelings on hinky votes in general?
I think that it's possible to do a hinky vote and like get away with it and like use it in a good way. Like Steve Moses also is somebody who like did a hinky vote in BB17 and he got away with it, and it wasn't super necessary, but it accomplished kind of what he wanted it to accomplish. And like if you're a good player and you're a good liar, then I think that it's not a bad tool. But it's usually doesn't accomplish what the person wants, and the person like Veronica, for instance, she is not a good enough player or a good enough liar to have pulled it off, and she should have known that, given that she came into the house and told a lie that everyone just immediately didn't believe. Like she should have the self-awareness. Obviously she doesn't. She should have the self-awareness to know that she's not a good liar and that she can't pull this off. But it looks like even after it blew up in her face and she got evicted, she did not have that self-awareness.
No, she did a lot of confronting people, which is an interesting move.
Yeah. Interesting is a word.
Put people on their heels and it will totally work out for you.
Right, and just tell them constantly that oh, I'm a big threat. You should keep me in the house. I'm a big threat, and I'm at this point I don't even know what I would do. I could go after anyone. That's exactly what everyone wants to hear.
Yeah, they want to know that no matter what, you might not do rational things.
Right.
That's the key.
Yeah, that's the reason that she didn't go out unanimously, right? So it worked for one person. Clearly.
Yeah, no, that's funny. Who is that? Will.
Will through the pity vote. Yeah.
So Erica wins the veto.
Yep.
And she decides to use it on Maddie, who it didn't look like she expected it. I don't know.
Nope, she did not.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had more like insight on that, but no, she really didn't know that she was going to get vetoed off the block.
The only people who knew that the Veronica backdoor was happening were Allie, Olivia, Dayla, and Johnny.
Right.
So everyone else was totally shocked.
So like Johnny's gonna win,
right? Johnny is very good.
Yeah.
Johnny is very, very good at Big Brother. I certainly have tweeted out that I think that Johnny has like the potential to be like a top 10 Big Brother player of all time if he like continues the way he's going.
Right.
Yeah, he's playing very, very well, and he's playing very well on a cast full of also like very good players.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's really targeting him. People are like somewhat onto his game,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not manifesting in him being targeted yet.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, in fairness, we said the same things about Paulie Calafiore
Yeah,
in his season, where we're like, oh, Paulie's going to win. He's killing this. And then he flamed out super spectacularly in that. So,
I think that Paulie had clear flaws though that Johnny doesn't have. But yeah.
So yeah, and so Veronica and Marin, the gate crashers, are on the block, and Veronica handles it just as you would expect someone who's designated as an angel would handle it, by taking it really personally.
Yeah,
talking mad shit, you know.
Oh, she did plenty of that. She did plenty of that. Not even just the players in the house, but she was talking smack about the other gate crashers who didn't even get into the game.
I know.
Because
that sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even make it. Come on. Is this hard enough? You gotta come at me? Like, what the hell?
And she has apologized. She has apologized on Twitter to Kirsten for basically like saying that she didn't get into the house because she was because Veronica was skinnier than her.
Yikes.
And better looking, which I would disagree with. You know, I'm not like, like going to vote somebody into the house because of their looks, but
yeah, would you say, like, was it the apology like, I'm sorry that I said hurtful things, or was it one of those apologies like, I'm sorry that the things I said hurt you? That's a pretty classic apology, right, these days. I'm sorry you were offended by what I said.
Right. Yeah, it's very tricky. I think it's kind of like it kind of rode the middle, and like it was like a public apology. It wasn't really like she said that afterwards that she was going to reach out to Kirsten.
Right.
But I mean, I guess kind of like apologizing at all is something to commend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I have nothing really against Veronica. She's just like she's a bad player. She was entertaining. And she flamed out pretty much exactly when everyone expected her to. Literally the second week that she could possibly have been evicted.
So one of my favorite parts about her being on the block was Hamza going to her and just telling her that she should blow up everyone's spot. And her being like, "That's a good idea. I will do that."
This is a common occurrence actually. With Hamza and Veronica. With Hamza especially, and a lot of people, but Veronica especially was somebody who would go with it because she didn't know any better. Where Hamza would just like tell people to do things that were like firmly against their best interest, but would just be entertaining.
Right.
And she called a 20-minute house meeting just to rant about how awful everyone was and how they're all fake and how they should keep her in the house because she's a real person who will fight for them, but also that at this point she doesn't even know who she would go after, and that she's like a huge comp beast who's gonna try and win all these competitions, but also that would make her a shield in front of you. And she's such an honest, and she's never lied to anyone in the game. She's always been straightforward, except everyone knows that she's been lying to everyone about the Hinky vote constantly for the entire week.
I publicly lied and everyone found out. I'd never lie.
Except for that first time that I publicly lied and everyone immediately found out, and then the second time where I'm also right now continuing to publicly lie to your face and everyone found out immediately. I've been totally straightforward, and you should keep me around because I would be totally loyal to you, but I also am, not committed to anything. I could say whatever I want and just go back on at any point, which is legitimately something she said.
She just gets it,
Yeah, she's a fantastic player. Oh, boy.
So after that splendid outburst, we have Cassandra coming back into the house.
Yeah, for the
third
straight season.
About Cassandra.
Yeah, right. Because you haven't seen Cassandra's 2 seasons. Well, her first season, she was in like the fan favorite alliance of her and Tim, and then like kind of Joel as a third.
Mm,
They called themselves the Threak Show,
nice.
and those three kind of like about halfway through the game after the buyback and after the Mitch blindside, or not really blindside, but kind of after Mitch's downfall, the three of them kind of took over the game strategically and wrote it down to the final five.
Mm,
Cassandra is very much in the uh, like catty, snarky kind of role,
yep.
right? Whereas you go into the diary room and she just says like really biting things about the other people.
Mm,
And then she was also brought back as one of the returning players last season, where she flamed out early because she immediately started targeting the other returning players when they all had agreed to like have a ceasefire between them.
mm.
So
So she went for it. She kind of tried to be like Danielle in BB13,
yeah,
but she didn't have immunity.
right.
She didn't really. She wasn't really able to do that.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't have the backup or the wherewithal.
Mm. All right, so she comes in. She does a. It was pretty dumb, but we'll cover it. She does a hair competition, but the twist is that the boys are doing the girls' hair as poorly as possible.
Yeah, what a twist.
I mean, pretty mind blowing. It's right up there with Battle of the Block in terms of I hate it.
Wow, man, I was pretty ambivalent going in, but what was why do you hate this so much?
It's just like a waste of time, man.
Yeah, I guess like it was definitely a waste of time, especially in a double eviction.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting rid of two people and we're doing this. Like, come on.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Probably could have been. Well, I guess they couldn't have saved it for the
Yeah, because two
the
people
Monday
were
show.
there that weren't there.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I don't mind it on like single eviction episodes, like whatever. Do you
Right.
to pad out the runtime? But the
Yeah.
thing I like about double eviction episodes is just gameplay the whole time.
Yeah. Exactly. No, like if they'd done this next week and then like aired it on the Thursday show, like I don't think it would have been that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went on for very long, and like I'm a big fan of Cassandra, but like she was not like being utilized well at all. She was basically just giving canned lines to like promote the L'Oreal.
Yeah.
She didn't really have any like big like moments or like one-liners or anything.
Right.
She was just kind of there.
Like, does that like one of her lines wake up bitches?
Just like betches in general. She says like she
Bitches
says yeah, but with like kind of like she pronounces the I as an E, like and like kind of
yeah, betches.
yeah,
All right, I got it.
and
Nice.
kind of like says like it with an accent kind of thing or like a yeah.
All right. Well, finally after that is over. Plur bites the dust.
Yep.
She peace, loves, unity, and respects herself right out of the house.
Oh yeah.
And the only person who voted for her to stay was Will, for some reason.
Yeah, it was a pity vote because they were close, and everyone knew that he was going to do that, and everyone was pretty much okay with it.
Right. So then we let her out. She doesn't really have that interesting of an interview. It's like literally 2 seconds long. I think they really want to push you to the Facebook interviews. Like,
Yeah.
or have they always been that short in BBCAN?
No. I think the like day after interview thing is fairly recent. I don't know if they did that last season, but certainly like the earlier seasons they did like full BBUS style interviews like Julie does.
Which I actually like quite a bit. But yeah, so we don't do that in this episode. She's gone, and we tell the house guests it's a double eviction.
Yeah, which most of them had already guessed.
Yeah. I mean, although last year in BB19 they literally said every week was going to be a double eviction.
Yeah.
So sometimes the house guests can feel it out. Sometimes they're just wrong.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of tricky. Like I think usually BBCAN would have done it the week after, so it's actually a little surprising that a lot of people had were assuming that it was this past week.
Do you think that had
Yeah.
anything to do with like the first week where we lost one but gained two?
Um, maybe.
Kind of threw it off a little. I don't know, but anyway, so we go and it's actually a pretty great competition because it's literally just Ryan and Olivia like just cutting a path through every other player.
Yeah, just alternating, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really exciting.
Yeah, and then it comes down to them,
Hmm.
and Ryan answers a pretty easy question incorrectly.
Yeah, so the only thing I can think is maybe he counted it because Erica won it twice, but she's only one person, so maybe that kind of fucked him up.
Um, but I mean, that wasn't what the question was asking, right?
It was how many times has a female won the power of veto this season?
Okay. I thought that was okay. I misremembered the question. I thought it was the how many times had the. Oh no, that was the one that Derek got wrong. The one, how many times has the HOH also won the veto?
Right, right.
Yeah. So okay. So yeah, he just okay. So
I
how
think he
many?
just mixed
He
it up
I
in
was
his
thinking
head.
how many females have won the power of veto?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
is what he was
That's,
thinking.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe he just forgot that she won it twice. But I don't know how because her first one was the Tomb Raider one, which
Right.
he competed in, so he probably would have known that. And then she just played the veto, so I feel like he definitely would
Yeah.
have remembered. So the only thing I can think is either he panicked or he just misunderstood what the question was asking,
Or both.
or both. Yeah, he misunderstood it and then panicked because he misunderstood it.
Right. Right. And it looked like he was. It looked like both of them were hesitating.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because it is a tricky question because she has won it two times, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
It
Olivia
was a
won,
good competition.
and it was well earned as far as I'm
Right.
concerned. Because she
Yeah, it's very
actually
rare.
beat a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's very rare that the person, one of the people like in the initial round,
Mm,
because like it was her and Allie to start,
right.
like runs it all the way through, especially when they're like constantly picked. I think she won 5 rounds.
Yeah. It was a good competition, man. I enjoyed
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And then she nominates. Well, actually,
Well, yeah.
this part was awesome.
Yeah, you don't want to skip over this part. It's the best part.
Yeah,
It's the
so
best part of the episode.
they go into, I guess, is that like the, what do they call that? The kitchen?
That's the storage room.
Storage room. Oh, so that's their version of the storage room.
Yeah, it's the same thing as
yeah.
the US version. It's got like pantry and an extra fridge.
So they go into the storage room. Pretty classic place to go during a double eviction, I'd say.
Yeah.
And was it Paris comes in? It's like, all right, nominate Marin and Maddie.
Right.
And,
That was the plan.
yeah, she was like, okay, I'll do that. And then Johnny comes in, and she's like, already like prepared to be like, Johnny, I'm sorry, I have to do this. And he's like, no, you're not putting Maddie on the block.
Yeah, you lied to me, and he just gets in her face like, "No, you're not doing this to me.
Yeah.
She's not hitting that block."
She's like, oh, okay. And then she doesn't nominate Maddie. It was awesome.
Johnny got his way.
Yeah, it was a great moment, and but this is what I'm talking about because they added that stupid segment about hairstyling. The have to rush through that, so it's like immediately cut to the veto, and then Ryan wins it by a millisecond over Marin.
Yeah.
Like Marin thought he won, which sucks.
Right. No, because I was confused because they didn't actually show Marin like finish.
Hitting it, yeah. So he's like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and then it's like, huh, what is happening? And then they do like, Marissa says, okay, yeah, you actually won by a millisecond, Ryan. Ryan uses the power of veto on himself, but like what I'm talking about is like it cuts from that to the veto to the ceremony.
Well, we have there was a short time in the backyard right after the competition where Marin is like pleading to Olivia, like please don't put up Hamza.
Right.
And she's like, "Yeah, I'm still thinking. There's between 3 people." And it's like, "No, you're not still thinking. You already decided you're putting up Hamza."
Yeah, and Hamza like kicks skirt behind her.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. So
yeah.
why do you think Hamza was the one to go over Marin here?
Just Hamza's less predictable and better in comps.
Gotcha. So it's a nearly unanimous vote. Erica, the only one, I mean, which is pretty obvious that why she would do this.
Mm-hmm.
Her and Hamza are super tight.
Yeah.
And everyone else votes for Hamza, and we lose Hamza, the wild card of the season.
Oh yeah, the intentional wild card.
Mm-hmm. So what are your final thoughts on both Plur and Hamza?
They're, I mean, obviously, like, as Big Brother players, they're both like extremely like flawed players. But Hamza could be a good player if he like wanted to like play well and try and win.
Right.
The issue is that like he didn't. Like his entire game was like, oh, I just want to be a big TV presence and a big character and make good TV. And I don't want this to be Big Brother 19. I just want to like, give the audience a show and then go out pre-jury so I can hang out with my fiance. That's exactly, he got exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. Is this the last one before jury?
See, that's the thing. It's very unclear because normally, like in recent Big Brother Canada seasons, it's been, final 2, jury of 9. So the jury started at 11. But also, usually they tell the people, the house guests, that the jury has started and that they've all made jury so they can go, yay, celebrate. Mm-hmm. And Arissa didn't tell them. So I wouldn't be surprised because this is supposed to be like, quote unquote Canada's season or for the fans or whatever, if they do a final 2 jury of 8 with a Canada's jury vote.
No.
They have this
Don't
has
do
been
that.
they've done this before. They did this in Big Brother Canada 2, and they do it last season. No, they didn't do it last season. I think just 2. They might have done it one other season. I'm forgetting.
Oh my god.
3. They might have done it 3 or 4. Well, 3, JP was voted off of the jury, so they didn't do it that time. I think they just did a Big Brother Canada 2.
Right.
But it didn't matter because John won total blowout. So, and in every single Big Brother Canada winner except for Jillian has won a total blowout. So, and that was a complete opposite.
Was Jillian the one that was supposed to lose?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was the actual complete opposite of a total blowout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if that is the case, like, it's not ideal, but it usually doesn't matter, right? It'll only matter if it's a 4-4 like tie, right? So
yeah, I mean, like, I'm just kind of used to like the last few BBUS seasons, been 5-4 votes, so of course, and in my mind, I'm like, that's gonna happen, and then Canada's gonna decide the winner, and everyone's gonna be mad about it.
Yeah.
So
it could happen. It could happen, right? You're gonna put your money down that it's be a Canada jury vote and a 5-4 vote.
We'll see as we get closer. We'll decide. But all right, so let's get into spoilers.
All right, so we had coming off of a week where Erica won her second and third competition.
Yep.
Won HOH and veto in the same week, which is usually not great.
It's the best of times and the worst of times.
I mean, I wouldn't say Hamza was her biggest ally.
Right.
She was like okay with like Hamza going. She wasn't okay with it, but like she knew that it was positive for her game, really. She would have preferred Maddie to go, but like Hamza was like maybe the third person she would have been okay with going at that point.
Right.
But so she's put a huge target on herself. She's won all these competitions, so she's been immune basically the entire game, other than the double eviction. And so what did she decide to do here? She decided to win HOH again.
That's what you guys get for voting Hamza out.
Yep. Apparently, she tried to throw this competition. It was another mental. It was very similar to the one that she won last week with the 3 past players coming in and recreating their whole thing. Apparently, they had like random visitors, like in costumes, sort of thing, come in, and do like crazy stuff, and they had to answer memory questions based off of that like parade sort of weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
And she apparently tried to get questions incorrect and accidentally answered them right a couple of times.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
So this is like gonna be 2 straight weeks essentially of Erica being in the HOH.
Yeah, she's basically a permanent member of the HOH room now.
So there's no way she doesn't get evicted the week after.
No, I tweeted that out. I said, so basically at this point, Erica's going home next week, right?
Yeah, what? You can't let her stay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry she's nice and all that, but like, people are gonna get annoyed eventually.
Yeah, people already are pointing out that Erica is a huge threat, and she had a conversation with Ryan where Ryan told her that, you know, you have to go after a big threat this week, because if you don't, then you're just leaving in all these other threats who are going to win HOH and take you out in the future. Because, like, his argument to her is basically, you know, you're going to be a target no matter what you do, so you might as well like reduce the amount of people who can beat you in vetoes, right?
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
Who do you think the most optimal person for her to remove from the game would be? And then we'll get into who she nominated.
Well, it's tricky because she should want. She probably should want Will or Paris out, but she doesn't really know. Well, she kind of knows that she should want Will out, but she's not willing to take that shot. Yeah, I'd say Will is probably her biggest threat.
Right.
And so she is very much right now on the I want to take out. Well, they call them floaters, but I refuse to use the term floater incorrectly. So she wants to take out coasters, basically, like people who are unaligned and doing nothing and not winning anything, who she classifies as Marin, Maddie, and.
All right, so that'll be good. She'll probably do that and then get eliminated next week.
Probably, yeah.
So good job. I hope you enjoyed your experience on Big Brother.
So what does she do? She has a conversation with Paris and with Johnny, and then also with Ali and Olivia. But Paris and Johnny know that her initial inclination is to put up Maddie and Marin again. Just, you know, that's the nomination she made last week. They're already, you know, upset with her, right? So it's not going to piss anyone else off. And those are people that she wants out of the game anyways. Right. But that's not who Paris or Johnny want out of the game, obviously. And Johnny especially puts in a lot of work here to get Erica to not put Maddie on a block. And so the nominations happened last night, and Erica ended up nominating Marin and Ryan.
Oh, Daddy, no.
Yeah, Marin and Daddy. And I believe Erica wants Marin out. She's trying to form some kind of a relationship with Ryan.
She did not want her gate crashed. What you're saying.
Right. Exactly. Johnny also has been pushing very hard for Marin to be evicted. Marin's the only one that Johnny doesn't have a close personal relationship with in some way. Paris is kind of going back and forth, actually. But I think that Paris would be at least okay with sending Marin home over Ryan. The people who are pushing really hard to get Ryan out are Will and Maddie. So it could be kind of up in the air if the nominations stay the same, which of them ends up going home. It seems right now that Marin is more likely to go if the two of them stay on the block, because that's what Erica wants. That's what Johnny wants, and Johnny especially has a lot of pull. But, you know, it's Big Brother, and it's definitely not set in stone, so either one of them could go. Yeah.
All right, so expect the unexpected, y'all.
And then we just had the feeds come back about a half hour ago. Veto draw, because veto is taking place today. And the people playing for the veto are obviously Erica, Marin, Ryan, and also Allie, Maddie, and Johnny. So that
Gotcha.
could be very interesting.
Right. All right. Quick shout outs. Got a follower on Twitch. Just popped up. Blizzardo01. Thank you so much for following us. Hope you're a big BBCAN fan.
Oh, very nice. So you came to the right place.
You did. And if you want to watch our other coverage of it, you can go to youtube.com/WickedGoodEverything, where we have the rest of the episodes we recapped.
Yeah, and then we also have a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
We have Wicked Good Everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that I think that covers most of the things that have happened on the shows and then on the feeds.
Yeah.
You have any?
No, what was that?
Do you have anything else you want to mention before we get off here?
No. Just make sure you check out Wicked Good Everything. Check out our daily, or not daily, but very frequent updates on news happening over on YouTube. We got the podcast, Brad and Dylan Take on the World. And of course, we're talking BBCAN 6. And we are streaming a lot, like straight up, just all the time.
Yeah.
Mostly video games, not always just this.
Yeah, like 5-6 times a week at this point now, right?
Yeah. We're grinding, man. We're going to get to 200 subscribers and 30. We really want to get to 50 followers on Twitch.
On Twitch,
so we
yeah.
get that affiliate love.
Start grinding those dollars.
Exactly. All right, man. Well, I think we're ready to go. Thank you all so much for watching and hanging out. I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
And this has been some BBCAN 6 news.